Hi, I'm Larry with Transwest Truck Trailer RV. We're located in Frederick, Colorado. That's about a half an hour north of Denver, right off of I-25. Today on the truck video, we're going to talk about the last 2020 Freightliner M2106. The conversion is Summit Hauler that we have on the market. So today I thought we'd start by taking a look at the inside. And to make things simple, we'll start at the top and work our way down. But before we get into it, notice how much room and space we have in here. You know, we're going to do a lot of comparisons today between the 106 and a pickup, for example, and that is one of them, is how much room that we have. In addition to that is how much windshield there is. There's 2,500 square inches of glass that we're sitting here and being able to look at. But right up here is the backup camera. When we go to back up, you simply have to look up to see that. This truck comes with the Voyager system, and I'll show you when we get out and look at the truck where we can hook up additional cameras to it. So you can actually hook up 3 more cameras to the one we already have. So when you're driving and want to look, you look up there and actually break into quadrants up there, or you can shift it one at a time, whatever you want to do. But this does have the ability to hook up more cameras to it. Right over here is our air horn. As we come down, the gauges are pretty self-explanatory. You'll notice that there are 2 here for air. The top one is strictly brakes. The bottom one also does the brakes, but in addition to that, it does things like air in the cabin, air in the seats, things of that nature is the secondary gauge there. As we come over, cruise control is right there. This is the locks, and here's all of the windows. Now this does come with automatic transmission. This truck is extremely simple to drive. I know that people that first see the truck are worried about it, almost intimidated by the size and the mass of it and being able to drive it. Well, we simply don't have to worry about that. I mean, R is for reverse, D is for drive, and away we go. As we come over, the radio here, and that does come with nav. As we come down, mirror heaters here. Regen, that's something that we'll probably never have to use. I mean, if we're in bumper-to-bumper traffic for several days in a row, maybe the possibility there, but chances are you're never going to have to touch the regen button. This little button right here is the dump valve. Now that dumps all of the air out of the back of the truck. For example, when we would use that is when we're hooking up a trailer, such as we did this morning, we let the air out to simply back underneath the trailer. This locks the differential here. Now this is simply for the fan into the back seat, so that determines hot or cold air, and there's the fan so we can kick air to the back as well. Now here is our parking brake. One advantage this truck has over pickups is that it comes with air brakes, and the couple of advantages it has, if there's a minor leak, for example on a pickup with hydraulic fluid, that fluid is going to eventually leak out of there, and you push your brakes and they get softer and softer until there's simply nothing there. As opposed to air, where there's an unlimited supply, if there's a smaller leak, we can just pump enough air in there to go past. Now obviously situations change in terms of a major blowout, but in terms of the minor leaks, that's a huge advantage there. In addition to that, personal experience, so when I go to press the air brakes, they stop a lot quicker, for example, than on a pickup truck. You have that little hesitation there, you press the air brakes, boy, you basically stop right now. So that's another advantage this truck has over a pickup. It does come with a trailer brake right here. It does come with a true engine brake. So you set that, push it up or high, we're affecting all 6 cylinders. Low is 3. So that's really going to assist in terms of driving and stopping capability. For example, if you're going through the Rocky Mountains next door and we're coming down a steep decline, we want to turn that brake on high to help us really slow down. Not only is that safer, but it prolongs brake life as well. And here's just your basic climate control, hotter and colder, and how fast you want the fan to blow, etc. But the big thing to notice is the room. In addition, another safety advantage this truck has over a pickup is look how elevated we are. So if we're driving in traffic, we're above the other, so that we can see hazards both coming at us and from the sides as well. So that then again is another safety advantage this truck has over a pickup. So now let's just step outside and take a look at the outside of the vehicle. As you can tell, we're hooked up to the trailer that CJ just did a video on, and that is just to give you a visual appraisal or description of what the truck is designed to do. So if we look at how we have it set up in the back and the trailer hooked up, it does come with the gooseneck ball. The backup cameras made it very simple to hook up to this morning. Simply pull underneath there. In addition, this is different than the competition. Summit Hauler uses this instead of steel, and therefore, 10 years down the road, this is aluminum, so it's not going to rust. Right here is that Voyager system plug-in I was telling you about inside. Right there is where we would hook up the additional cameras. Right here is our lights as well. As you can see, coming through underneath here is under that plate is a hitch for traditional bumper pull trailer. Another unique thing about the Summit Haulers compared to a lot of the competition is we put 800 pounds on top of the rear axle. Now what that does is a couple of things. The highest priority is for traction, so if we get into mud, things like that, we're going to be able to get out of it. In addition to that, if we find ourselves in rain, that's going to help with hydroplaning, because that additional weight helps balance out the truck. Now it does come with 3 storage compartments as we start to walk around. This Summit Hauler offers the most storage capacity of any of the brands on the market. The top is all Rhino lined right here for protection and longevity of the vehicle. As we take a look at the inside of the front storage compartment, you'll notice the amount of room that is in there. In addition, the truck does come with an air hookup for an air hose if we need one. Underneath here is where the batteries are located, and I'll show you a simpler way to jump start the vehicle in a little bit as opposed to tearing into all of that. So if we take a look from ground level, just like most haulers, that back seat does make down into a bed simply by pressing a switch. And I researched it, and that does meet DOD requirements for a bed. And simply push it the other way to get it back up. This is a trickle charger underneath here, basically a plug-in. So if we find ourselves traveling in the night, we want to run the DVD or have lights on, etc., we can plug that into a normal electrical outlet. Now that assists the batteries is what that does. Here's the DEF tank. This holds up to 6 gallons. Research is showing about 300 miles for every 1 gallon of DEF. This is one of 2 fuel tanks. There's one on the other side. So they are connected. So as the truck's sitting right now, that fuel's balancing itself out. But when you go to fuel up your truck, you're gonna have to fuel each tank individually. Some things we can see from the ground. We are proud to offer the most comfortable seats on the market. They are heated and cooled, and right here is the switch for that. They come with air ride. So right here is our switch for how much air we want in this, or how high and how low we want the seat. This is for the lumbar system. So this will put air in and take air out of the back of the seat. They're designed to be able to start from the ground right here. So when you start your truck, you're gonna wanna turn that key halfway and simply wait for those gauges to go all the way over and all the way back. We're getting into cold weather, so we might even want to leave that on a little bit longer to warm everything up before we start our truck. This little pedal right here, you press that when you're sitting down. You use that to adjust the steering wheel. Right here is the kill switch, and we're getting into, especially into cold weather, we want to get into the habit of using that. So when you shut your truck off, you want to use the kill switch, and that shuts everything down so there's no stray voltage going through your truck. This is a block heater right underneath here. Now let's take a look underneath the hood. That is the Cummins 8.9 liter engine. It is coupled with the Allison 3200 TRV transmission. This offers 350 horsepower and 1,150 foot-pounds of torque. Some things we can see from here, if you'll notice, things are kind of color coordinated. For example, here is where we would check the oil. Now I did mention, I showed you guys where the batteries are. Now if something happens and we need to jump start the vehicle, right here is where we would do that from. It's designed to jump it from there, so we don't have to worry about tearing into the batteries back there. A lot more convenient and easier to use right there. So say we are underneath our checking oil or jump starting the truck, whatever, and a gust of wind comes up, that hood's gonna stop. The only way to get that hood down is to manually force it down. Now as we take a look directly in front of the truck, a couple things to notice and mention. One is that hood is compressed fiberglass, so that's really thick right there. We had a hailstorm come through a little bit over a year ago. The pickups were demolished. You couldn't even tell anything happened to the Freightliner 106s. The grill made from the C9 company is very sharp. It really spiffs the truck up. Now if we look at the bumper, you'll notice that it's actually broken into 3 parts. There's one on each side and the middle. So if we're in an accident, say, and we smack it here and there's a big old dent there, we can simply replace that section as opposed to doing the entire bumper. As we come around to this side, if we could zoom in on the tires, I want to talk about that a little bit. They are 255 ADR 22.5. A unique thing about Summit Hauler is it comes with tire balancers. See this little drum right here? The tires have those. And basically that's another drum, and it has BBs and hydraulic oil in it. And as you go and as you pick up speed and gain momentum, that balances the entire rotating mass from the tire to the hub to the rim. All of that is balanced. So that makes it safer since we're balanced. It makes it a more comfortable ride. In addition to that, it prolongs tire life up to 45%. From ground level, looking into the passenger side, that passenger seat is air as well. Those air seats really make life better from the standpoint of when we're taking long trips. I mean, you go 12 hours in this thing, basically you're on air and jump out and still have all the energy left in the world. Here is the other fuel tank. I mentioned that there was one on each side. Right there is the other one. Ground level, looking up here, we can get a good shot of the DVD player. In addition, there are some USB ports down low. As far as storage capability, this side is exactly like the other one. So a very nice truck we have on the market today. Again, this is the last of the 2020s. If you have any questions about this or anything we have on the lot, please feel free to give me a call. My cell phone number is 970-370-4067. The work extension, 303-684-3404. Feel free to email me, larry.vickers@transwest.com. Thanks for tuning in today.